Hello Neca fans, today we are going to take a look at the piece de la resistance, what everybody's overly hyped about lately. We're going to take a look at, with special thanks to my buddy Will for getting my hands on these here. We have got ourselves the Ninja Turtles line. We're going to start off with the Foot Soldier, and not only do we have one of the single packs, which I believe was a GameStop exclusive back when they first released, but we also have the double pack. So we're going to take a look at both of these. We're going to inspect the boxes, we're going to look at the figures, look at the accessories, and then we're going to do a comparison, see if there's any kind of differences that we can find between the two releases. So we've got 3 Foot Soldiers here. We're going to take a look at them. Hope you guys enjoy. So right off the bat, we're going to take a look at the double pack. These are coming out into Walmart's like now, and this is what you can pick up. They're about 50 bucks, and as you can see, you get 2 Foot Soldiers, you get a ton of accessories, bunch of interchangeable hands. The cool thing about the 2-pack is, along with all the accessories, you also get a weapons rack to go with them. But the boxes, as always with NECA, really nice. We've got some pictures of everything post, all the figures there holding different accessories. Got a little, synopsis of what you got going on here and everything. That is the double pack. So single pack, I believe they came originally in Melee and I think a ranged one, which came with like a halberd and stuff. This one we got here, we've got the nunchucks and some little beat 'em up bats and everything. Simple design for that packaging. So let's go ahead and open. We're going to start off with this guy. We're going to open him up, and then we'll open this up, try to keep them separated so we can really get into the nitty gritty of the differences. Alright, so straight out of the box, we just pull him out, and as you can see, we've got a great little texturing going on here, and we'll get into that in a minute, because I know the Shredder's got that great texturing to him too, and everything just really makes that figure stand out. But we have got ourselves a bow staff, we've got nunchucks, we've got 2 sets here, and we've got one that has a chain on it, and one that has this little bendable wire and everything, so you can actually pose it. Then we have got 2 of our little cop beat 'em up sticks. We've got the backside for his bandana, and we've got 2 other alternative hands. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that these do come with these little backdrops that just pull right out of the packaging. They're actually pretty sweet, but if we've seen some of my other videos, like the character options Doctor Who ones, definitely, I feel, in my opinion, had a lot more heart into them and everything. This is cheap, this is flimsy. We've got this guy out over here for the double pack, and the one that he comes with on a larger scale definitely is a lot thicker. It's made out of the cardboard. This is actually part of it here and everything. So if you want a little backdrop and everything for them, perfect. But I feel like they could have taken it just a step further, and for being just something they printed onto the box, pretty cool. But here we have got 2 Foot Soldiers. We've got the halberd, the sword, the size. We've got the bow staff. We've got little beat 'em up sticks. We have got what looks like a better nunchuck. Maybe it's just a better casting than the one we got on the single pack. Then we have got 4 extra hands. 2 extra sets for each of them. And then their little backside. And then we have got a weapon rack in the box right here and everything. So what I'm assuming is we can change these out just to have a more flowy one. Oh, cool feature. I feel like they could have done something a little bit better as this extra accessory, but can't complain. So let's pull this guy out, let's pull these guys out, take a closer look. One thing I never show is the tedious process of actually getting these figures out of the box. Almost every single NECA figure has these little band wraps around multiple areas across the figure, so don't expect to just rip him out or anything, but just in case anybody actually wanted to see the way they do get packaged and everything. I mean, these things are kind of elasticy. I don't know if we can actually see that there. But yeah, I just usually pull them up and use like a scalpel knife to like kind of like get them out, or just some scissors and stuff. Alright, so looking at our accessories, like we said, we have got the little bow staff, just, you know, your standard little plastic cast cylinder, and there he goes. But then we've got these, not too bad, not too bad. I mean, I feel like they could have went with a little bit of a thicker thing, but that is still a pretty sturdy object. Here is that little headpiece, just to give you a different kind of style on flow, wind effects, yada yada. We have got our different hands. I really like how they capture the emblem on the plating there. The fingers look good. Outside of these two middle ones, you can see right there in between the fingers, kind of just not really separated well. Small detail, nothing too major. Got kind of a really good paint job outside of this area right here. Looks a little janky, but being able to see like the separate segments of the hand and like the, you know, lines and creases, like that's just a really good, really good detail. That's good attention to detail right there. Fists, well, these ones are actually the open hands. The fists is what he comes with. And again, like you got kind of that choppy-ish paint job going on there. But getting back to the accessories, like we said, we got this nunchuck here. Has this kind of bendable plastic. So you can pose the nunchucks. That's pretty cool. But then also you've got your fancy little nunchuck. Now this is a very brittle chain, so don't be expecting to do anything too crazy. And if you don't feel like you can get a pose with it, you probably are not going to get that pose without snapping this little chain here. But the detail on that is pretty cool. Like, I mean, you got that little kind of gonna bash somebody in studs. Like, that's cool. Onto the figure himself. I really like the way that they went about this. Like, just look at the sheen that you got on him. And then you do actually have this cloth sash on him. Everything else on him is kind of like a plastic resin and everything. Like, you know, nothing else is fabric. But this, that is a nice little detail there. And I can already tell you, like, once you get out, like, the size and stuff, like, you can put the size into his sash and stuff. That would be really cool. Now you got kind of a more rubber for the mask, and everything else is a plastic casting. I believe the eye pieces are a plastic casting as well. But onto articulation, we can articulate his head and his neck, so it really gives you that range of being able to do kind of what you want around with him. It's always nice to have that extra second articulation, so you can like go down a little bit more, back a little bit more. As with a lot of NECA figures, we have got our arm up and down, but that shoulder piece kind of blocks you from, you know, kind of going all the way up, but you can kind of get around it a little bit. So you can get that arm out, and then you can actually twist. Hold on, let me put this camera down here. Hey, that's my face. So, you can twist, and you can twist, and you can twist. So, it's two separate segments for the upper arm and the lower arm, and this elbow piece is actually its entirely separate segment, and so you can rotate the forearm and the bicep separately. So that's pretty cool. And then you do got that double joint there, so you can, let's see if we can get a better frame of reference here. You can bend up here and you can bend up here, so you got that double joint there. Pretty nice, always great to have. And then on your pegs on your hands, you can bend your hands in and out, and pulling them out isn't too bad. as you can see, as with the other ones. I lost my hand. But yeah, and they just snap right back in. So, but moving on, we have got our waist, and we do got a little bit of an abdomen as well, but I don't know if I'd really consider that a full articulation point, because it doesn't really give you the range that some of those figures do. Like some of those figures, like you can like, and this guy's not doing that. So the legs, I was a little bit disappointed after checking them out. I mean, you can get your little kick high, yeah. They do have that like side to side articulation as well, but I don't know if it's just the joints are really stiff, but I mean, you can twist it too. So that's always a bonus. But you don't really have a lot of movement going on with the lower leg, but you do have that double joint. See if we can, the black figure not really wanting to do what we want it to, but just like with the arm, like, you know, you can kick up and then you can continue to kick up. So you got a little bit of twist at the foot on the foot, but then you got your standard little articulation, and you can kind of twist it to the side and to the other side. I don't like, he's got really petite feet. Like if we look at this, like his foot and his shoe, like, I mean, where his ankle, like everything on it just seems a little, just a little off center to me. And I feel like they could have just made this part a little bit thicker and the shoe a little bit thicker. I mean, it may not have been as accurate, but at the same time, it would have made for a much sturdier figure, because this guy does got some rather small feet for a base, but not too big of a deal. So moving on, we'll check out accessories after we get some of our other figures out. One thing I did want to point out though is with the double pack, these guys' arms are through the packaging, so it's less of these little, you know, bandy kind of things on him. It's just the one at the waist, but don't try to rip him out, because he is like got most of his arm inside that packaging there, so just be careful of that. Alright, so first we're going to take a look over here at the weapon rack. I was slightly disappointed by this rack when I did pull it out. It's really tall, and for the amount of weapons you get, I mean, you can mess around with it. I'm sure you can get it to look a little bit prettier, but I mean, I don't know. I just, it doesn't seem full, so it just kind of seems more lackluster than I was hoping for. But it's still a really nice little piece. I feel like they could have easily cut it off like right about here, and it would have made it look a little bit better, rather than making it so tall, because it's actually taller than the figures themselves. I feel like they should have like scaled it down a little bit. But and then I was looking at these figures. So these are the two that come in the pack. They look very, very, very similar to this guy, but there is just something that is bugging me here. And I don't know if I'm just being crazy and trying to find a difference here, but if we look at the torso, and we look at the torso here, I don't know about you, but I feel like this guy is a little bit scrawnier. The GameStop exclusive single pack, I feel like his sculpt is just a smidgen smaller, and I feel like these guys are more like beefed, you know. And I can't tell if it's just a trick of the eye, the way my table's laid out, or what, if I'm trying too hard to pinpoint something. But all in all, the figures, they all look really, really great, and they all appear to have the same exact sculpt. So we're not getting a new sculpt or anything like that, unless it is true that these guys are just, you know, like, I mean, like, I'm talking like these guys are like 145, these guys are 150, you know, like, I'm not talking like a big difference or anything. It's just, I don't know if it's the way I had him posed. He just seemed scrawnier when I first pulled them out. But anyway, this is just a great set. And then, you know, we've got the other hands here and everything. And I mean, for all the accessories and everything, like, I mean, these guys are just great. Let's try to get one of these guys standing up. Get him back standing up. There you go. So now that we got him standing up, we can see they are 7 inches. All of these guys are at that 7-inch range. They're all the same height as with everything else in there. So looking at the accessories for the 2-pack, we have got, again, that chain. We have got that bendable for that posability. We've got the bow staff, the little cop beat 'em up stick. What we got here, though, is we've got a nice little katana sword thing. Nice little Leo sword, you know. And we've got this halberd. I kind of wish it was longer. That's my only gripe with it. Kind of wish it was longer. And then we've got them size. Like I was saying about those size earlier, and that sash, you can put them right in there. Looks real great. And you can do that with just about any of the accessories, you know. But I mean, obviously the size is the best. Definitely recommend getting you some foot soldiers if you're going to collect those turtles, especially if you're going to open them and display them at any point. So I'm not going to go through and show you every single accessory, as we're already running a little bit long on this video. But we already know that these things are looking amazing. We already know that we've got the backdrop, the bigger backdrop for these ones. Like, definitely recommend picking up this set. Just for reference, we do have the turtles we're gonna do a review on later. We do have the Shadow Master Super Shredder, and we're gonna take a look at all of that. And I do have an original Super Shredder from a buddy, so that we can do a comparison of the original release to the Shadow Master. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Leave me some feedback. Thank you. Enjoy.